Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the best new class mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager. We got some really great ones here that require some strategy, some that combine different mechanics from base game classes, and some that focus on damage types that have been neglected by the base game itself. And the first one I'll be sharing here is the Nightbringer class. Now this is a cool one. This one does require a lot of strategy. It combines abilities like the Rogue Sneak Attack and the Paladin's Divine Smite into something different, and it's cool. This mod was made by Dirt6969, nice. So yeah, the Nightbringer itself here is a class. You get to choose, you get a few different spells and cantrips. You get the Guidance, Minor Illusion, and the Dark Burst, amplifying darkness to unleash a surge of energy, propelling enemies 4.5 meters away. You gain Umbral Bulwarks for every enemy hit. Now this is there's a few different benefits that you get from this class as you continue to level up. You get Create, Destroy Water, Command, Sanctuary, and Shield. And the class features Expertise, so you get 2 skills. You can bring them up to Expertise. You infuse your main hand weapon with the Essence of Darkness. Attack rolls use your spellcasting modifier, and the Force type will become, or the damage type becomes Force. So whenever you attack, if you're doing normally a 1d10 of slashing, it'll now be 1d10 Force damage. And we also get the Spawn of Darkness, so you get the ability to see into dark vision up to 24 meters, and Nightbringer spells will not be able to harm us. As we continue to level up, we do get a lot of other fun effects from this. So at level 2 here, we get a class feature for the Shadow's Whisper. An eerie unseen force manipulates reality, making you more likely to succeed in any task. Add half your proficiency bonus to ability checks you're not proficient in. You also get the Shadow Shift, which allows you to reappear in a different area of darkness, similar to what you get from the Shadow Monk. You also get the Summon Night Eye, call forth a unique raven which can mark enemies with the Night Brand and grants the Dark Wings favor. And here is our Nightfall. So this is what I was talking about. It's like the Divine Smite, but it does slashing damage. And target must be afflicted with the Night Brand when you have an ally within 3 meters or advantage against it. Killing a creature with this will give you 3 meters movement speed and 1 turn of Dark Acceleration. So it does come with some unique buffs to this. We also get the Echo of Oblivion at level 3. After killing a creature with Nightfall, you can enhance your next Nightfall attack, deal an additional 2 to 20 force damage, and the bonus damage increases by 1 to 10 every odd number character level. You also get the Cage of Darkness, create a sphere of blackness teeming with malevolent energy. This is difficult terrain, and blinded creatures are afflicted with the Night Brand. You also get a number of spells from normal classes, and now we can prepare them in different order. This spell list is a lot better than the Paladin spell list, I'll just put it that way. Now at level 4 we get the class feature ignoring resistance and immunity to force damage, which is quite rare in the game, but it's still nice to get. And then we get to choose a fighting style as well as a cantrip here, and then again preparing our spells. So at level 5 we get our extra attack, and we get the Summon Night Eye too. Once per long rest we can cast Cage of Darkness. And we also get the Dark Rift, crack open a rift in the void, pulling enemies towards you. Gain Umbral Bulwark for every enemy hit. And yeah, as you continue to level up, you do get some more effects here, like the Expertise and the skill. And the Umbral Bulwark gives you a +1 to your armor class, so this can really help beef your character up and make them a bit more tanky. And it also gives an increase to your saving throws as well. You also get the Enigmatic Flow here. Once per short rest after killing a creature with Nightfall, you may cast an illusion or enchantment spell without expending an action. So that's really good, because it's almost like the Ring of the Mystic Scoundrel, or Band of the Mystic Scoundrel. Very powerful. You also get the Devouring Night cantrip. A dark malevolent engulfs the target and caster, pulling them into a fabric of space in a nearby unoccupied location. When in this turn, you can when you kill a creature, when you roll force damage, you deal maximum damage, which is nice because our main weapon and our smites will all do force damage. So you also get some more choice in spells, with things like Confusion being very powerful to have. So again, this is really nice for the spells that you do get to select. Cage of Darkness can now target 2 enemies at a time, and that's the thing that makes difficult terrain. So that can really be nice to buff up your overall defensiveness. Once we get ourselves to level 9, again, more spells. You get like Hold Monster, Telekinesis, and Dominate Person. And you get to choose a second fighting style, which is pretty cool. And once we get to level 10, we get the subclass feature. You can now cast Summon Shadow Image once per long rest. The Night Eye gets a nice buff. And the Midnight Hunt, well inside the Cage of Darkness, enemies within 3 meters become vulnerable to force damage. And that just means we're just straight up dealing double damage with our melee attacks. Crazy. Level 10, you get the Reliable Talent, ability check, and a skill you're not proficient in. The lowest you can roll is a 10. We also get Hero's Feast and Globe of Invulnerability. Globe of Invulnerability being one of the best spells in the game. So with this Nightbringer, it's all about, you know, putting yourself into the, cracking open the rift here. So you can pull enemies in towards it with this Dark Rift attack. So show you there what it looks like. That's the ranged version of it. And We'll just go with the attack there. Boom. Pulls everyone in. And then our weapons will all deal force damage. So, or I guess the bow doesn't, but the main hand attack does. So when you go with something like your smites here, the Nightfall, this does force damage and it ignores resistance. You can also apply vulnerabilities with it. You got this Dark Void here. I can't use that or else it'll cause a big issue. Actually, I might be able to pull it right here. So I guess to show the targets, we can teleport them all into an area. So using this, you can pull someone towards you and then you'd continue to fight with them. And then it also rolls maximum damage whenever you're attacking them. The Dark Burst amplifies darkness with an attack, and you gain the Umbral Bulwark. So with this, you can just send people flying with your attacks. So you'll see that right here. Boom, big push. Pretty cool. And then you get the Umbral Bulwark, which will give you that +1 armor class and saving throws up to 5 stacks. Pretty cool class. I think this one is actually quite fun, and it's got some unique things going for it. So the Nightbringer _438 is the name you have to search up for this mob. Made by Dirt6969. So yeah, this is the first one. But next we got ourselves the Surgeon Rogue subclass mod. This is made by The Wailing Bard. This is a new release that just released this week or a few days ago. It's a cool subclass for the Rogue that focuses a little bit on healing. What's cool about the Surgeon is you can replace the sneak attack with a variety of different debuffs. You also can throw potions. Like, it's an interesting version of a healer, and it's actually quite fun. So the Surgeon here, subclass for Rogue, you choose a level 3. Comes with the anatomical studies. This gives you proficiency in medicine and nature. Whenever you make a medicine check, you roll a 7 or lower as an 8. Additionally, if it's higher, you can use your intelligence in place of wisdom for medicine checks. And your Surgeon features will use a higher of wisdom or intelligence to determine their save DC. You also get the surgical strike. You weaponize your anatomical knowledge while attacking humanized beasts, giants, monstrosities, and the undead. The number you need to roll a critical hit is reduced by 1. Additionally, when you roll a sneak attack, you can replace your sneak attack with a special effect. And you got different ones here, like Cripple, which will reduce their movement speed. This one prevent the target from taking opportunity attacks against you until your next turn, and you must remove your Surgeon modifier -1 from the next saving throw. The Infect will apply a poison if they don't succeed a Constitution saving throw. And the Maim will blind them till their next turn, and it's a dexterity saving throw. We also get the Cunning Action Throw Healing Potion, which will not hurt people if you throw the potion at them. So this is nice if you have teammates grouped together, because you can throw the potion, heal everyone all in one go. Really cool. So at level 4, we do get the level 6 features as well. So we get the regular old feat here. It was actually at level 9, you get the cultivated immunity. The time you spend around disease and toxins has improved your immune system. When you take acid, necrotic, or poison damage, you reduce the damage you take by an equal amount equal to your proficiency bonus plus your Surgeon modifier. Additionally, you cannot become diseased and have advantage on saving throws to become poisoned. So, really nice. Now, once we get ourselves to level 13, you expand your crit ranges to 2, so now you get a 10% increase to your overall crit chance, and it now applies to all other creatures instead of other than constructs, oozes, or plants. And moreover, when you apply a debuff with your sneak attack, you also deal the sneak attack damage. So this is a big power spike for the character. And at level 17, you can use your rogue level in place of a d20 for medicine checks. Additionally, you can replicate the effects of healer contagion once per short rest, though they must be cast at melee range. So heal is very strong because it does 70 healing. So that's really nice. Nice boost, and it's a very fun subclass. It also can pair well with like the Gloomstalker Ranger, because you can go in and do your sneak attacks, but your sneak attacks will debuff as well as do the sneak attack damage. So at level 13, it's a pretty cool class. So yeah, this mod was made by The Wailing Bard, the Surgeon Rogue subclass. Next, we got ourselves the Thundercaller class mod made by Lyricos. Now, this is fun because it's got 4 different subclasses, and thunder damage is not very well done in Baldur's Gate 3's base game, because thunder is really down to Nirolna, and you do get some thunder spells, but this amplifies it, as there's 4 subclasses: the Amplifier, the Echo Eidolon, the Echo Eidolon. Jeez, yeah, sorry about that. And the Sonic Controller and the Thunderer. Now, the Thunderer, close range damage dealer, focus on locking down close enemies and chaining damage. You get Thunder Wave and use intelligence modifier. It says strength for attack rolls. The Sonic Controller is all about control and debuffs and buffs. So you get your bunch of different cantrips there. And then for the spells, you get some different ones like the buffs, Bless and Bane, and Shield as well. The Echo class here gives you thrown weapons return to user. And again, the Nirolna already returns to your hand, so it's not super useful. Throwing attacks use dexterity, and all throwing attacks proficiency damage bonus comes from dex. So this is cool, I guess, because you can focus on being like Nirolna Throner without having Nirolna at level 1 at least. And the Amplifier is a spellcaster using a ton of different spells to deal extra damage. You also get like the throw voice cantrip or spell. Throw your booming voice from a position you can see. Targets within the area must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 2 to 16 thunder and be thrown 5 meters. Amplified shot as well. Shoot 3 beams of concentrated energy, each dealing 1 to 6 thunder damage each. It's like magic missile but thunder. And you get the class feature sensory overload. Targets affected with reverberation are easier to hit and less likely to succeed on their saving throws against you. So for this one, you do see you get some fun spells like Thunder Wave, and I'll continue to show off this subclass in particular. You also get the echoing snap here. Compress the area in a location you can see, creating a loud snapping. Everything in the area will take 1 to 4 thunder damage. And you can pop a couple of these bad boys down. They don't do a lot of damage, but it's nice area of effect damage at least. Now once we get to level 2, we get another choice in spells here, and once we hit 3, I guess some more spells. This opens up the spell list as well, and you get like Shatter, which is actually a really powerful thunder spell. Once you make it to level 5, we get the Resonance spell. Root yourself to the ground and generate shock waves, dealing 3 to 24 thunder damage to enemies within 12 meters. That's a huge range, way bigger than Fireball. Does require concentration. You can pull this up and keep hitting it with this big explosion as well. And you get more spells there, so you can see from the list. You do get Fireball, which is kind of nice because that's just great for spell casting. At level 6, you gain 2 armor class. This bonus is lost upon movement, so stand in place and drop your extra damaging spells. At level 7, we get the Pressure Zone. Concentrate sound in a specific area. All enemies within that area must make a saving throw or take 4 to 48 thunder damage and fall prone. So 40-12, pretty crazy. And the Thunder Cannon doing a 10d4. Focus thunder energy into a projectile and fire it. All targets in the past must take a 10 to 40 thunder damage and are pushed 5 meters and afflicted with unstable. At level 9, we get the Wave Bombardment spell, which does 15d4 thunder damage. Sound erupts from 3 locations you're choosing, each dealing 5 to 20 thunder damage on each. So you can choose, again, those different areas. You can just all slam them in the same spot, kind of similar to the Water Myrmidon's ability to shoot down the ice. And you can see here, great selection for spells. You get the Elementals, which is really fun to have. And at level 11, we get Boom Cells, doing a 12d4, creating 4 Thunder Zone called Boom Cells. Enemies that touch these take 12 to 48 thunder damage and are knocked back on a failed saving throw. So we're all about knocking them around. And the spell list is great. You do get some very fun ones like Odaluk's Freezing Sphere, as well as Wall of Ice, Chain Lightning. So things like the Boom Cell here, you can see you can drop these 4 bonks down. They look cool. I got some Eldritch Horror stuff. And this does require concentration, so wronged an ally. And then you got the Wave Bombardment, which you can throw down on the ground, which will do, you can create 3 bonks there. They do a ton of damage. And then also you got like the Thunder Cannon, which is kind of like lightning beam, but thunder damage. And you stack up reverberation. As you can see, everyone's getting hit with reverberation. So that's a nice thing about this. Oh, and we can keep knocking them around. That's fun. So yeah, we got reverberation. You can knock people around, knock them prone. It's a pretty cool class, and definitely one that's it's kind of funny just to see it, because yeah, all these different spells got a lot of power to them. So definitely recommend checking out this thunder based class, because you'll have a ton of fun. We even got Mints doing yoga while they get bonked around. Now we also got ourselves this really cool sword mage class, which creates these swords behind your character. It's pretty awesome. Now this mod was made by Beat Around My Bush, and with this you get the cantrip seal swords. This can remove the sword visuals, but with this you got the 1 or 4 sword style. This is the one sword's all about single range and long casting ranges, whereas this one is an area effect based class. So you get the wide attack, cleaving enemies ahead of you, cleave enemies with a bonus action. You can summon the swords as well. You got the subclass features, allows for blades in combat, and animation long can take yeah, there's a long animation on this, which I'll show. It comes with different attacks like strike from above, the thrust, the break free, pushing enemies away, and cleave ahead of you. And at level 2, you get the Sacred Blades. They record a damage you take, making you resistant to that damage type, and additional damage on crit. It scales with your intelligence modifier. Now this also has a really cool icon there, you can see, pretty fancy. You get to choose 2 of the cantrips here, so you can continue to grab some of these ones here. And at level 4, we get our level 5 gives an extra attack and sanctuary. At level 6, you can leave fragments inside of enemies, and you get the recall, pull back stuck blades on a killing blow, restoring your arsenal, which I'll show off what that ends up looking like. At level 7, you get the arm blades to be unleashed. It's arm second blades and arm third blades, and then you can take the cleave cantrip here. At level 9, you can ignore slash and pierce resistances, as well as you can bestow the sacred sword or transfer your sacred sword to a nearby ally. Pretty cool little feature there. At level 10, we get the subclass feature retaliate, counter enemy attacks against you and your allies. Basically kind of like riposte without the extra damage. At level 11, you get the reposition, unlock a free teleport upon landing a killing blow. And you get the thrust again, break free again, cleave again, and from above again. Again! So you get a lot of cool effects, which I'll now show off what they end up looking like. So they all have their own unique icons here, but what we want to be doing is also my weapon, whenever you sub out of that other class, it doesn't change your force damage away. So that is something that you just got to keep in mind. So yeah, you got to swap off the weapons. It does permanently change the weapon that you were using there. So just a little heads up. But with this, you get like the from above attack, so you can drop down in an area of effect, dropping these blades down. As you can see, it looks pretty crazy. So bonk, big sword, and then there's this little sword that'll kind of float around your character. So whenever you summon the swords, you can see here, we'll pull in the swords. They're now on our back, and we got a lot of these. So thrust again, you can thrust forward. So you can see here, this attack will hit a straight line and leaves these cool things in front of you. The swords will fly around. This is one of the coolest class mods that I've seen, just because of all these fun effects that it comes with. You also got like the there's from above wide attack, so you can do the wide attacks, kind of like a cone of cold style attack. You can pull the swords and they attack for you. And then you also got yourself like break free, which will hit this in an area of effect, knocking people back, displacing them, and there's more swords popping out of the ground. Then you also got I guess the bestow sacred sword, transfer your sacred sword to a nearby ally, so you can pop these over to like Shadowheart, and then she has the sacred fire now, which gives her half the fire damage you take, because we took fire damage there from the thing exploding. So what's cool about this class is it continues to buff your character up as you take damage. You got some really powerful attacks that you can drop down on the enemies. You can prime your blades to drop on them, so you can see there it opens up the portal behind our character. Arming the second blade is going to open up another one, and then we'll open up the third blade, which will open up a final circle here. So you got this crazy stuff going on behind your character. Yeah, it's actually quite awesome. So yeah, even with like the cleave attacks, you can do some pretty good damage with this subclass. I think it's a very fun one, and it has some stuff in it that you've just never seen before with these crazy things behind our character. So yeah, this is a pretty fun one. The swords do take a moment to disappear, so they will kind of float behind your character. Just something to keep in mind. And finally, we got ourselves the Maidens of Valhalla Valkyrie class mod made by Eclipse here. I love their mods. They have a lot of fun ones that I've just recently touched on, like the War Dancer class, the Tensor, the time I got reincarnated as a slime, the Succubus class mod, the Iron Revenant. They have a lot of great stuff here, even the Sniper. But with this class, this is all about Valhalla and the Norse mythology. So with this, you get the class feature Norse battle spirits. So Norse creatures generate divine favor by pleasing their gods, fighting enemies and healing allies or praying to the gods. It's just some of the things that can give you divine favor. So you get to choose a class passive. So with the Bifrost of Heimdall, you can teleport. It's basically like a Misty Step. Scotty's Whirl of Ice is my favorite. So whenever you walk, you create ice surfaces below you and you don't slip. And this just becomes absolute chaos because there's ice everywhere. There's also the Euler's True Sight, which allows you to see illusions and invisible creatures. Baldur's Gate, which gives you the unlock spell, which is really powerful, or knock, I guess it's called. And Vidar's Thirst for Vengeance. With the Vengeance of Vidar, you will generate more divine favor roll in combat. I want to show you Scotty's World of Ice because it is really annoying and funny at the same time. So you're pretty much Frozone. As you can see, you skin around creating ice below you, and this just makes everyone else slip and fall, which is really funny. So, oh, of course this happened. So everyone's now unfortunately knocked out, so we'll continue to show off this class. Just be careful with this one, clearly. So you get the Sundering Strike, strike an enemy, dealing weapon damage. If you miss, reduce armor class by 2. If you hit, increase their damage taken by 1d4. So a buff or a debuff or a debuff, depending if you hit or not. And you get to choose subclass between the Maidens of Daybreak, which will give a bonus to saving throws and can cast First Light as a bonus action. Now, what's nice about Eclipse's mods is they'll show you the playstyle. So this one's a defensive / support class. This one is a balanced class. This one gives you the ability to create iron jars, which will be, you can resummon your teammates. And if you're familiar with Norse mythology, this will be perfect for you. And the Maidens of War, which gives you a +1 to attack rolls, and you get Sundering Strike without having to use Divine Favor. I'm gonna go with the Maidens of Valhalla here. It's pretty fun. Now, at level 4, we increase our movement speed and jump distance, and we get a brutal swing cleave attack, which allows you to do weapon damage to 3 targets, which is actually really nice. Not like the other ones that take half damage. You get an extra attack, you become immune to poison, disease, and being cursed, and you get the Speak with the Dead spell, Norse Ancestry. It's basically the same thing, just a little different appearance there. At level 6, you get the Purging Light, channel the divine energy to remove all negative effects from yourself or an ally. And if you die, you become an Aaron Jar instead. So this is just a nice way to bring yourself back to life as well. At level 7, you die a life, block all healing from a target, and the Aurora Veil. Nearby allies gain Aurora Veil at the start, regenerating health for 5 turns. Now, each level gives you something cool. Battle Maiden at level 8 here gives a +1 armor class until next turn after taking damage. And if you continue to take damage, this will stack up, increasing your armor class, which will make you get hit less. If an Aaron Jar kills an enemy, Aaron Jar kills an enemy, they become back to life. So as I mentioned previously, this is nice because you can get into that form and then come back. And you also get a subclass feature, Gates of Valhalla. Whenever a nearby enemy dies, collect their soul and strengthen yourself and send them to Valhalla. Pretty cool. This is from this subclass itself. So level 10, you get the Divine Herald. Surround yourself in Celestial Radiance and Light of the Heavens, using 2 Divine Favor charges. At level 11, we get the Aegis of Light. Shield an ally with a Divine Barrier. They cannot take damage if struck from outside the barrier. And finally, at level 12, we get the Odin's Judgment. Halls of Valhalla. Create a zone that mimics the power of Valhalla around yourself, giving a +2 to attack rolls, an additional 3 to 12 radiant damage on attacks. And they immediately become an Aaron Jar if they die or are downed. It's pretty strong, and I'll show off what that ends up looking like here in actual combat. So you get an idea of what this is all about. So the swords are still on from that class, so that's just something to keep in mind. So we'll apply our buffs up here. So this gives us the Celestial Radiance here. Which basically just gives us additional radiant damage if we come close to a target, so you can hurt people with this. This just does damage over time to them. And we got our Sundering Strike. We got the Divine Armaments, which will deal damage. Oh, I unfortunately triggered them with that. So I'll show you the create Aaron Herjar here. So we'll pop Jahara back to life there. Didn't exactly work properly. She's now dead, so that's unfortunate. And Will's not looking too hot there either. You also have the First Light here, which can heal the targets, so you can apply this to yourself. And it brightens the area up too, which is kind of cool. This fits thematically. And you got the Aegis of Light there to protect teammates. And the Valhalla here, so I guess I showed that off. But yeah, unfortunately, it won't let me do this outside of combat. It didn't end up working properly. But normally what it'll do is resurrect your teammates. They can attack as kind of a different version of themselves. And then once they take out a target, then they become back to life, which is really cool. So these are the best new class mods in Baldur's Gate 3's Mod Manager. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.